What's up, guys? It's Ryan, and today we're going to be going over how I mix down the vocals for the track from scratch I've been doing. My friend Charlie sent over the vocals probably a week ago, and then I tried to record myself mixing the vocals into the track, and then when I was finishing up, I realized I never hit record on my screen, so that part of the track from scratch was lost. So I'm just going to run down what's going on with the mix. So I'll play the first minute and let you guys hear what it sounds like.
First date on a Friday night, I met her on the internet. Yeah, she's excited, it said that we're a good match. And yeah, she's looking hella fine, chilling in that red dress, sipping margaritas all night, don't think I didn't notice. Our conversation is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move. We talk places and acquaintances and mutual friends and our rendezvous. It's clear you're feeling me and I'm feeling you too. Now the question in the air is, what are we gonna do about it? You think I only want sex, wanna get you undressed, get you in the bed and get it in, and then forget that we ever.
So yeah, that's kind of the general vibe of the entire thing. So how I went about this was, as you can see, I have a vocal group, and then I split the he sent the entire thing to me in one long file like that. But what I did was I cut them into the different sections, so like the intro, the first chorus, I guess you could call it, second verse, second chorus thing, bridge, so that I could set the levels independently of each other. And that eliminates having to automate every little bit and every time it goes into a new section. So, and nothing is really going on in any of these. On some of them, there's some light compression coming from FabFilter. And this one has a little bit of a gain automation. This one has a little bit of compression as well, and this one has nothing. So, two compressors and a little bit of volume automation, and that's it on the individual tracks. But where everything's happening is on the group. And if we solo it out real fast, and we go in and turn off everything real fast. Alright, so this is what the original raw vocal sounds like.
Friday night, I met her on the internet. Yeah, she's excited, it said that we're a good match.
And then right here,
our conversation is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move. We talk places and acquaintances and mutual friends and our rendezvous.
Alright, so the first thing I did was add a little bit of virtual tape machine.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
Just added a little bit of tape saturation. It's super subtle, but I like the way it sounds. I use it on almost everything. Next thing, FabFilter Pro Q2.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move. We talk places and acquaintances and mutual friends and our rendezvous.
So there's that right there. Next up was the virtual mix rack. And then in this, I've got this compressor.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
As you can see, it's living around 3 to 5 dB of gain reduction. So it's kind of just squashing it a little bit. And then it goes into the FGN, which is taking off a little bit of the high end and then boosting a little bit of the mids. So without.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
With.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
Alright, and then I have this trimmer just taking off 3 dB because it needed it. The next up, we have this de-esser from Slate.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
And if you listen really close to where there's like S sounds and sibilants, I think is what it's called, right, without.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
The sh sound is really kind of piercing, but if you throw this on, it highlights those sounds in yellow or gold, whichever, and so you can see where it's actually affecting.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move. We talk places and acquaintances and mutual friends and our rendezvous.
So it's not nearly as abrasive, and it's an automatic sort of thing, so you can kind of just set it and forget it, which I'm a big fan of. And I didn't really mess with any of it. This is pretty much stock, like default preset. I think I upped the smooth a little bit, but that's all I really did. Then the next part is where it kind of gets super interesting. So up until right now, we have this.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
Which doesn't sound bad, but like in the mix,
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
it feels like very alone and very sterile, I guess. So this right here,
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
this is where the effects and the space come from. So I created an audio effect rack, obviously. I have a dry channel, which is just the dry channel. There's nothing going on. And then I have this wet channel. And on the wet channel, I've got a reverb from FabFilter with very, very high mix, and then just kind of tweaked to taste. And if we solo it out, it's just like a room sound. But what I'm doing is I have a compressor after the reverb, and it's sidechained to the vocal group. So that means whenever there's singing happening, the reverb and reverb alone is getting ducked. And then when he stops singing, the reverb kind of swells in and takes up a little bit of space. If we listen to it, you can really hear that in these spaces, like right here.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
You can hear the reverb come in at the end of the sentences. And if you take off this compressor,
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
it just feels like there's a lot, it muddies the vocal a little bit. And I don't know how to. I'm at a loss for words at the moment for some reason, but throwing this on just cleans it up and fills the vocal track up more when it needs to, which is when it's not happening.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move.
Because there still is a little bit of reverb going on, like while he's singing. So, and then it's just like more present when he stops. So I'll do an A/B with the full mix.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move. We talk places and acquaintances and mutual friends and our rendezvous. It's clear you're feeling me and I'm feeling you too.
It just helps fill it out a little bit more, and it's pretty subtle, but it's super effective. I'm also setting it to the reverb channel just a little bit, and I honestly don't remember why I have this utility on here. I don't think it's being used for anything, but I don't want to delete it just in case. And I'm actually 100% sure I'm not using it for anything, but I'm still going to leave it there just in case. And while I was mixing these, I did make a few changes to the rest of the mix, so I'm going to go over those pretty quickly. I'm going to try to remember them just to keep you guys in the loop, because I forgot to hit record. So one of the first things was I did some general like volume tweaking on some of these. like MIDI instruments, but the EQs are basically the same. And the guitars, I actually took a pretty sizable chunk out of somewhere. Like in that area right there on a lot of these guitars, I just kind of carved out a little bit of it, like 8 decibels, just to make room for the voice, because like the guitar is a very full instrument, and it can compete with the vocals, so you have to make room for one another, and this is a vocal heavy track, so I carved the guitars away to make room for the vocals. In these little chorus things, I muted this guitar part. Because I didn't think it had much of a place when you had vocals on top of it. Those were really the only major like mixing changes. And on top of that, on the master bus, I threw on a FG Gray from Slate Digital.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move. We talk places and acquaintances and mutual friends and our rendezvous. It's clear you're feeling me and I'm feeling you too.
I was watching a Rick Beato video, which is a fantastic channel if you don't know it. But I was watching one of his videos, and he threw this on his master bus before, like his mastering plugins, to kind of glue everything together, and it just made everything sound so much cleaner. And so I tried it for myself, and I kind of have to agree. So I'm just using Classic Mix 1, this preset. I think it sounds really good.
Station is the foundation, making motivation for the night to move. We talk places and acquaintances and mutual friends and our rendezvous. It's clear you're feeling me.
And like you can see, it's only doing like 1 to 3 dB of gain reduction. So it's a super subtle like glue for the mix, but I think it works very well. So yeah, that's the track essentially. And that's how I mixed down the vocals and any sort of tweaks I had made. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Check out my friend Charlie. His channel is Charles with a Z 360. He's an incredible sax player and vocalist. He's a really cool dude as well. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.